Sure, guys, it's cool to imagine being a dude with the proportionate strength of a spider, swinging from building to building and ejecting piping hot web fluid right in criminals' faces. But when you think about it, being Spider-Man, particularly Peter Parker, actually kinda sucks. Listen up. Because here's why. If you're a person who values the balance between work and your personal life, well, we're sorry to tell you about this. But becoming Spider-Man is probably not for you. Just imagine this. Each and every day of your life is like being a 24-hour first respondent. That is to say, you're either on standby waiting for a crime to stop, or you're actually stopping a crime somewhere around the city, and you'd be lucky if it just involves a bunch of thugs, and not, say, one of your mortal enemies like Doc Ock or Norman Osborn. And it's not like you're Batman either, because that dude, as crazy as he is, at least has a soft work schedule in place. The Caped Crusader does Bruce Wayne stuff in the day, and then stomps Gotham's criminal element at night. But if you're Spider-Man, well, screw your schedule. If that Peter tingle rings your head, you best bet you got to be in that red and blue suit, whipping the crap out of evildoers, regardless of what time it is. Plus, it's not like Spider-Man, well, exclusively does Spidey work 24/7, either, because you also have a day job to attend to, not to mention the various social obligations you have to your friends and family, like sweet old Aunt May or Mary Jane Watson. So, yeah, being Spider-Man means having some personal time, some quality alone time, is just a pipe dream. And since we mentioned day jobs, well, we hate to break it to you, boys and girls. We've mentioned this earlier, but we're going to say it again. Spider-Man is very much unlike being Gotham's Dark Knight detective. Most apparent of these differences is the fact that Spidey, throughout his long history, almost always lives from paycheck to paycheck. Sure, there have been times in his life when Pete struck it big, but it's fair to say that the friendly neighborhood wall crawler is defined by his poverty. That means you won't have that sweet, sweet Nepo baby money if you become the web slinger. Just imagine this. Even the simple decision between either opting to use your money to buy this month's groceries or cartridges for your web shooters becomes a life-threatening choice. And, man, web fluid doesn't come cheap. So, in between saving the people of New York and making some of that Skrilla, you're pretty much trapped between a rock and a hard place if you're Spider-Man. Hell, we've seen this numerous times. The original Raimi trilogy had Peter delivering pizzas. The recent critically acclaimed video game by Insomniac Games had the web slinger working as a teacher, which is one of the most underpaid jobs out there, if we might add. And you know what those two jobs had in common? That's right. In both those jobs, Peter got fired because he had to do some Spidey work while on the clock. This is pretty much an extension of your schedule being packed, but it has worse implications. Suffice it to say that being Spider-Man means that letting all the superheroes take over every aspect of your life. Say goodbye to that Sunday barbecue with the boys. Forget about taking a holiday out of town. And, hell, you can even forget all about having a simple 5-minute conversation with your friends and family, without rushing off to do some Spider-Manning when duty calls. And speaking of friends and family, now, one of the suckiest things about being Spidey is the fact that aside from poorly balancing your day, job and your superhero work, apart from living paycheck to paycheck, you'll always be on edge wondering if someone found out about your secret identity. That said, you'll always be in a constant state worrying about your loved ones, wondering if those who've connected the dots between your personal life and your superhero persona have gotten to them. Yeeks. Hell, we can even say that Peter Parker, for all his standout traits, is a guy who's suffering from severe paranoia. Just think about it. There's not a minute in each passing day when you don't think of Aunt May, Mary Jane, Mayday, or even Richard. But hey, maybe there's a bright side to it all. It means you have people you're willing to fight and die for, if you're living the life of a wall crawler. Still, that doesn't discount the fact that always having the thought of danger coming to your loved ones sucks. And finally, if there's one thing that sucks the most about being Spider-Man, it's this. For all intents and purposes, Spider-Man is basically the archetypal superhero in all of Marvel. He's a good guy, is what we're trying to say. And being one of the good ones sucks, Because no matter how much you hate your foes, no matter how angry you get, you always have to hold back. Now, to be fair, we've seen Peter Parker lose his temper a number of times throughout his long history, especially when he fails to protect the people he loves. And the consequences to those are near fatal, to say the least. Plus, we can argue that Spider-Man, being the good guy that he is, gets guilt-ridden whenever he loses it. Hell, we can even say that the web-slinger's entire career is based on guilt, what with that whole debacle with Uncle Ben spurring him on to be the hero we know and love. But hey, that's just our opinion. We'd love to know what you think about whether it's cool or if it sucks being Spider-Man. So, sound off in the comments below, and don't forget like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications to see more amazing pop culture videos like this one. We'll catch you next time, only here at KRTV Marvel.